Hey guys, how's it going? This is Paul, Spheric Reptiles, and I brought Casper, our Phantom Clown, to help with this demonstration. Of course, I'll have videos inside, but this video is just basically to discuss 4 steps to being successful with your ball python. So whether you pick your animal up from a reptile breeder, you go to a show, or lastly, you go to a reptile store and pick up your snake, there are certain things that you have to do to make sure that your snake is comfortable and is successful and that you're successful with it. The first one is that you have the enclosure set up before you go and buy the animal. So do a little research. I always say do research. Research the type of snake that you're getting. In this case, I'm talking about ball pythons, and look up the enclosures. Now, you could have something as small as a 30-gallon size tank to, if you have smaller ball python, you could either go with the 15-quart plastic tub. But the most important thing you need to do is to make sure that you have the correct heat source there. So you can either use, if you're using an aquarium or one of the PVC style tanks, you need to make sure that you have over tank heating or a radiant heat panel, and that all needs to be controlled with a thermostat. And the same goes with an under tank heater. So if you use an under tank heater, that's probably the most detrimental one for your snake if you don't control it. So there's a lot of different brands out there. I'll show the one that we got right here. And so that way you'll have that. Tank enclosure needs to be, the heat mat or the heat lamp needs to be set at anywhere between 88 to 90 degrees. That way you can really supply the right amount of heat to your animal. Second thing you must do, now you've picked your animal up and you brought Casper home. I'm trying to see if his face can get in there. What do you need to do next? So you need to hydrate him. So what I would recommend is getting one of these 15-quart tubs. Wherever the body line is right here halfway, that's where you fill the water up to, lukewarm water, and you put him in there or her in there for about 20 minutes. And that way you can make sure that your animal's hydrated, because we don't really know what these animals have been through by the time that they get us. So whether you get them from a breeder and they've been shipped, you buy them at a show and they've been there for about like 2 or 3 days, you don't know how far they traveled, or you get it from a pet store, you still want to make sure that your animal's hydrated. And after you finish that 20-minute process, the next thing you would want to do is put a little bit of dishwashing detergent into this tub, and then make sure that you swish it around and just soak your animal again in there after the initial 20 minutes for about 15 minutes. And when you pull him out or her out, then you can use either one of 2 sprays, or one or 2 sprays. You can use this Prevenamite, which, as I said before in another video, it's a good option. You just spray this directly on the paper because of course you wouldn't be using substrate, and it works. The other option I have is this reptile spray that you can get. You can buy it online through Amazon or through Chewy.com. Use a spray bottle, and you can lightly spray this onto a paper towel and just lightly rub your snake, wipe your snake down from, I would say, from the tail moving down to the head. And that way you can make sure that you're treating your mites, and then you quarantine your animal for about one week or so, and then you just look at the paper and make sure that you don't see any black specks. That's what the mites would look like. But the dishwashing detergent and the different types of mite spray will take care of your mite issue, because you don't want to transfer that to your other animals or to your home. Do not handle your snake until you've had a successful feed. I mean, I know it's just very tempting to want to pick the snakes up, because they're therapeutic to me. When I pick them up, just watching them, it's like having a living fish tank on your hand, or a living dinosaur that you can just hold and you can interact with. And that's why I love reptiles. But anyway, you want to make sure that your animal has a successful feed. So that's why I would say to make sure that you ask, wherever you buy your snake, your ball python from, ask them, what are you feeding? So is it frozen thawed? Is it live? And then the frequency of that. And even if there's a time of day that they do it, then you need to know as much as you can so that you can be successful with your ball python. And don't handle it until after you fed it and it poops. That way you can make sure that your animal is completely acclimated And then you can start handling it a little bit at a time. I would start off with about 5 minutes when you're cleaning up the cage after it poops, and then put it back in. Which brings me to the very last point, and I promise guys it's the last point, is to start slow. Like this, ball pythons they can live anywhere from 25 to about 35, 40 years. So with that, you got time. I mean, as long as you're alive and you want to have your animal, which I pray you do, your animal, your ball python, such as Casper, is very active today. Casper will definitely, see if I can get him to turn around. Casper will definitely have time for me to get used to him and him to get used to me. So start slow, 5 minutes at a time per week, and then slowly build up. And then once you get out, up to 10 minutes, then instead of going 15 minutes, add another day where you pick him up or her up, and then you work for 5 more minutes. So, hey guys, that's what I got for you today. Hopefully this helps. There's other videos that we have on feeding and substrate and all that other stuff, but this is particular how to be successful with your ball python. And in the case that anything ever goes wrong and your python goes off feeding, just resort back to step one. Hydrate, don't treat for mites, of course, and then just wait until your animal feeds before you handle it again. So, guys, I hope that this helps you so much. And as always, I enjoy talking to you about this fascinating hobby that we have here. And I hope you have a good day.